Hi, so for today's Inspire project, you're going to be watching me teaching you how to make scones. So what you need to do is make sure you've got an apron on, your hair is up and your hands have been freshly washed. So what I've already done is I've already put the oven on to preheat at 180 degrees and I have lined a baking tin with greaseproof paper. Just to let you know, this recipe I'm going to be using gluten-free flour because I'm celiac, but you guys can use normal flour. So we've got 250 grams of self-raising flour, and you've got to remember to put it in the sieve. And you go like this to make sure there's no big lumps of flour. And then you get 50 grams of caster sugar and do the same thing through the sieve. So then you've got a nice mixture of both flour and sugar. And then with your 50 grams of butter, you're going to have it in little cubes like this. And then you put that into your mixture. Now this bit might be the bit where you want to get your parent or your carer to help you out, because we have to do something called make breadcrumbs. So you put your hands into the flour and you bring it up and you have to squeeze the two together and combine it like this between your fingertips, and it can be quite tricky to do. So you can see now that it's a bit like sand. This is called breadcrumbs. And you can get this result if you've got a food processor as well, if you just put it in for a couple of minutes, but I don't have one, so I've had to use the old fashioned. So you want 100 millilitres of milk. I've got semi-skinned, but if whatever milk is okay. And you crack an egg into the mixture like that. You might want to get your parents or your carers to help you with that one. And then you whisk together the two ingredients until it's made a nice yellowy colour. And then in your bowl of your flour mixture, if you make a little well in the middle, so it's got a little hole in the middle, and you pour it in little bit by little bit. So you mix the egg mixture around. And then you're going to get a little dough forming. And you can use a spoon if you don't like to do it with your hands, but I find it easier to do it with my hands. So now we've got our dough, it should come apart a little bit and you can still see the little aerated pockets from it. We're going to put it onto a floured surface, grab all the little bits from the bowl, and we put the bowl aside. Now we're going to get some flour onto our rolling pin, just so then it doesn't stick to the rolling pin, and we're going to roll it out a little bit. So it's probably a couple of centimetres thick. And then we get our cutter. If you don't have a cutter like this, you can use a mug, and you just put it into the mixture, and then you put it onto your pre-lined tray. And we do this over and over again till we have used up all of the dough. So in a little bowl, we just put a splash more milk. And we put the lid back on. And if you've got a pastry brush, use that now, but if not, you can use your fingers and you just dab it on top of the top, so it makes it have a nice glaze and it's going to come out all golden. So it's just a little bit, and then, or if you've got your pastry brush, you do it like this. And now they go into the oven for 20 minutes. And so once it's golden on top, that means that they're ready. So I recommend checking it every 10 minutes just until they're golden on top. And these ones are a bit more flat because they're gluten-free, as I've explained already. So yours will be a lot thicker than this. But this is the finished product. So I'm going to have mine with some jam and some clotted cream now, and a cup of tea.